right, what takedown to master first? A lot of individuals start Jiu-Jitsu, and depending on the program, we will learn different types of takedowns. So let's talk about what we should be learning. And to do so, we can go over what takedowns are there. So we have two concepts of different types of takedowns. The first one would be upper body takedowns. So our upper body takedowns would be some type of chest to chest, body lock takedowns, and our lower body takedowns would be anything towards the legs. So most famous, the double leg and the single leg, right? So out of these three, which one should be looking at first and implementing first into our game? To get into a chest on chest, a body lock, is probably the best and easiest way to take an individual down, but the entry points, in my opinion, is very, very difficult. I got to clear the hands and then get my hands around the torso and connect it and get chest to chest or into a T position. I get my knee behind the other individual's knee, using my arms to break posture at lower body and get my head to break posture upper body to get the takedown. It definitely is probably the best and easiest takedown, but it's very difficult to enter. We can move on now to double leg, the most famous, and everyone always loves and usually is one of the first takedowns individuals learn. With the double leg, you got to get your hands again around the legs, and the most and hardest thing is to basically lower your level and get into the correct level position to now enter the legs. Individuals struggle in the beginning with this, and as well, it exposes two things. The first thing is that when guys start trying to implement the double leg, they get sprawled out, and that means that now they get face first into the mat, and they start carrying weight of the individual. This usually scares individuals to start wrestling or re-wrestling and enjoy wrestling because they're consistently getting sprawled out, and that is due obviously to a few concepts. The one that I always see is lowering the body and getting into the double leg. As well as it exposes the neck. The head is on the outside of the body, so it exposes the neck to a strangle, specifically the guillotine. So, you know, you have two things to always worry about in terms of the double leg, is that guys get sprawled out and get carried weight, or the guy shoots the double leg and gets caught in a guillotine. And if you're not doing these correctly or haven't mastered it to a certain degree, it discourages guys from wrestling, and that's when you see guys not wrestling as much anymore. We move on to the single leg. The single leg is obviously kind of a mixture with the double leg and body lock, because when you enter that single leg, you technically are to a certain degree a chest to chest or chest to belly, but you still have a connection on the leg. You're using your head as well to break posture and your lower hands to break posture on the lower body. Your head is on the inside, so that means that your head is not exposed, definitely to any types of chokes and to a guillotine, so you're safe on that front. And I would say to a certain degree, you definitely are in a better position on terms of getting sprawled out and carrying the individual's weight. It is a little bit easier then to connect to the front leg and connecting only to one leg compared to connecting to both legs or getting your arms around a waist. You definitely can get much quicker on getting onto that single leg. As well as we see a lot more transitions being applied from the single leg. You can get to a single leg, then a double leg. You can get single leg to a body lock. So saying all of that, I love to teach, and I definitely implemented in my program, that the single leg is the takedown of choice, the takedown that you should be learning first. Failing on the takedown doesn't always put you in a compromising position compared to the double leg or body lock. It's much easier and quicker to learn. You can implement it much faster in terms of live rolls. There's less risk to a certain degree of some type of submission or you carrying weight and being sprawled into the mat. So without the consequences of those, guys seem to enjoy wrestling a little bit more on the single leg. As well as I do feel that there's a big transition to other chain wrestling sequences from that single leg. Once you're on that single leg, you can chain wrestle for different types of single legs, chain wrestle into a double leg, and chain wrestle into different types of body locks. So saying that, I definitely encourage guys to look into the single leg. Is definitely the choice, the first choice of wrestling and takedowns is mastering the single leg. And if you need any more information on mastering the single leg, you can go to the QW Infinity app, and we have our whole single leg curriculum there, and there's a reason why we have dropped that as one of our first wrestling instructionals, because that is the choice of takedown that we prefer.